In this section, we are going to discuss about the name resolution services. Also, you can say DNS, domain name service, or the name resolution. So how to use the name and what is the qualified domain and other things we will discuss in this. So first we are going to discuss about the host name and the fully qualified domain name. So actually host name means the name of your computer. Host name is computer name or the server name. Whatever the server name or the computer name, it is called host name, name of the device. So fully qualified domain name means the host name plus domain suffix. So first, host name already we have discussed. Host name means host any computer, like if there is a MS10 computer, so the MS10 is a host name, or the DC10 or the Kali. So these are the host name. Okay. And but the another plus things is domain suffix. So now the time is know about the domain suffix. So domain suffix means domain name plus top label domain. So top level domain actually known as a like .com. You have here .com, .in, .net, .org. So all these are TLD, top level domain. Every domain name, any website, when you visit the website, it must end with the .com, .in, .net, .org and so on. So these are called top level domain. And another is a domain name, only the name. For the example is Cyber Pratibha. cyberpratibha.com or 515support.com. Sorry, 515support.com. Okay. So this is domain suffix. This is domain suffix. This is the domain suffix, and here is the host name. So host name is a PC10 for the example. So what is the total? The fully qualified domain name is pc10.515support.com. Means the host name plus domain suffix known as a fully qualified domain name. And domain suffix means domain name plus the TLD, and also there is a possibilities of the subdomain. So what is the subdomain? Sometime you have written like mail.515support.com like this. So here is the mail. This is a subdomain. Similar, there is a subdomain like FTP dot something, and training dot something, or sometime LMS dot something. So these are the subdomains. So what is the name of the rule? What is the rule for the providing the name? Simple, host name must be unique. Should be unique. It may be the PC1, PC2, PC10. It must be the unique within the domain. There is a not possibilities like you are using the same name, the other person are using the same name. Not possible. So this is the first rule. Host name must be unique within the. Also you can use the different of the labels, white periods like dot, you can use to making the separate. And the maximum length is a 253 character, and the overall 63 character per label excluding the dots. So actually domain name system you can understand here like dot. After a dot, this is the root domain. You can see this is the root domain. Here is a multiple parts. It is called TLD, or you can say the top level domain. So top level domains are .uk, .net, .com, .org or something. Like com dot is a root. And some country specific domain name, subdomain name like .in for India, .uk, .co. Okay, but and domain name is 515 babe, 515 support. These are the domain name. And subdomain may be corp or something else like mail. And here is www is used or the resource record you can say. And this is the host name for this particular host. So this is the full qualified domain name where multiple things exist. So here the full qualified domain name PC, corp is a subdomain, 515 support and dot and com. So this is the full qualified domain name, adding everything. Okay, so here is the hierarchical distribution database, name of the resource recorded. I have explained you. Root domain contains the 13 characters or the server, 13 servers starting from A to M. Top level domain means .com, .net and all these are managed and by the regional registrar. Regional registrar are used to manage all this like Big Rock, GoDaddy, and domain can be registered within an appropriate TLD. TLD means top level domain name. Okay, so how the name resolution work or using the DNS server? Like the client here, start the requesting like client queries for the www.515support.com. So where your request first will go? Your first request will go on your local named server and it will check if the 515babe.net are available or not inside the cache record. If it is exist inside the cache record, then it will give the reply. Otherwise, if does not exist in a cache memory, it will forward the request to the root domain name server. Root domain name server like root domain name server. So root domain name server will look over the authoritative for the record and return the information for the .net. Where is the .net? So it will send the request to the local name server and said this information is available over the .net. So in the next time it will again send a query to the .net TLD. So .net TLD will say yes, this is .net is available here, but actually I am not a authoritative, but you will get the authoritative information over the 515babe.net. So it will send the query, then it will generate again query to the 515.net server. Once it will reach, it will say yes, this is the request is there, and it will send the host record. Host record means DNS server domain name and the IP address. Domain name and IP address sent to the local name server. Now local name server will make this entry in a cache memory and then forward this request to the client server and ask and set to the client that the 515 is available on this particular IP address and make it in a cache. So the next request go on the directly provided the IP address. The request will be forwarded to the IP address. So this is the whole process happened at the time of the DNS resolution process. So now question is how many type of the resources record are available. Different type of the record are available. Start of authority. This is the primary DNS name server. This is the authoritative for the zone. Is specific zone. Then it will provide the contact information like primary server information and the responsible person information and also it will provide the serial number. Serial number actually used for the version control, and also it have the record, it is called name server record, which will have the 2 or the more record usually configured for the redundancy. Like you have the one record ns, most time ns1 dot abc.com whatever, and then record ns2 and the abc.com whatever. So ns1 minimum 2 name server are available. If the one name server is failed, then another name server will work. So there is a possibilities of there is a entry for the 2 types of the name server must required inside a organization. So what are the IP address and their record are exist? Their record first is A record. A record means host record or the IP address for that domain name. Like there is a domain name is google.com, so IP record will be IP address 1.1.1. It is the A record. There is another record, it is called 4 time A. This is the IPv6 host record, means this is the IPv4 record and this is the IPv6. Whenever you see the record is A, it will be record for IPv6. Another is a canonical name. It is called alter name for a particular A or the A record. Any alternate name. Maybe DC10, DC, you can see this is the name 10 GIT mail. These are the host record. Host means providing the IP address. This is 4 time A record means IP address of IPv6, where you can see A is a here. So alias name or the CNAME is a alternate name. This is the alternate name. Okay, so this type of the record are available inside the DNS server. So every DNS server having this type of the record. If DNS server is a Linux Windows based, it will shown like this. If a Linux based, it have the specific file where all the record is maintained. So there is some other type of the record also available. One is MX. MX means mail exchange. Means this is record for the mail exchange service. Mail exchange service means mail dot anything. So it is identify the host record that function as a mail server for the domain. Like if, of course, if I am a Google here, google.com. So what is the mail server? gmail.com. This is a mail server for this. And similar, there is a lots of the mail server are exist. Mail server record are available for most of the domain names. Because if the domain name exists, then there is a possibility of a email address like vijay@cyberpratibha.com. This is the name. So this is the mail server. So when it is the vijay@ means mail server for the Cyber Pratibha. So there is a necessary to having a mail server and their record known as a mail exchange server. There is another record, it is called SRV, is the service providing and having the host record that is providing the particular network services or the protocol. TXT also record is available. TXT record actually used for protecting your mail servers. Means make your servers spam free. So store any free form text that can be needed to support other network services. Generally it is used the sender policy framework is a type of the security implemented on the email, and another is a domain name identified email DKIM. We will discuss later in coming sessions when we talk about the email security. So another record, it is called pointer record. or it is known as a PTR record. So PTR record means reverse IP address, reverse name resolution. The one name resolution, your name to IP. Vice versa, it will convert the IP to name. Means if you have the IP address, you want to check the name, so you can use the PTR record. PTR record means like this, having the IP address first and then having the name server second. So it is called PTR record. So sometime the record is written like IAN, ADDR, AirPA.domain and IP6.AirPA domain. So these are the generally point records which is available, means use the IP address and get the domain name. So in this session we have discussed about the host name, fully qualified domain name system, name resolution using the DNS server, the processes happened, how the process is going on for the name resolution, then resources and record types where MX, pointer, TXT, SRV and other record we have discussed. And the host address, canonical name address means any alternate name for a specific record. Mail exchange services and text record. Then we have discussed about the pointer records.